Okay, so I want to get into parents in the household. So I don't know if this is like a black thing or just like something that's general that happens in all families, but it seems like parents and even grandparents are always so secretive about their upbringing and things they went through in their lives that could help me if you know, opened up and told me, but it's always like this stay out of grown folks' business type of thing, and like it's none of your business and why you need to know that, when it doesn't have to be like that. It could personally, I think it could benefit your kids if you tell them, listen, I went through this, or this happened to me, to, you know, I mean, people got free will, you know, but just to have that wisdom passed down, I think is very helpful. And I don't know, maybe it's like them being ashamed or something, and that's why they don't like to share, or maybe they're not even aware of what happened to them for real, or not even at that point in their life to accept what happened to them, you know. But I feel like them doing that work on themselves and then, you know, passing it down is definitely needed, and it should happen more often. But what's your take on that?
Let me tell you, I totally agree. I think that I think just like in this time period that we're in a very specific time period right now, and just being Black Americans in American culture, and just like the generations before us and the generations that are still alive with us, we're dealing with a lot of boomer and Gen X trauma, which is a shitload. And being Gen Z, and some of us having millennial, Gen X parents, or even some of us being raised by boomers. Millennials, I could say they're a little, you know, I think they're more willing to change and be open. They're more open to ideas of like therapy and stuff like that. And like, you know, respect going both ways when it comes to their children and them being a parent. But when you get into Gen X, our parents are Gen X. When you get into that generation and a boomer, okay, let me relax, because a boomer will really take you to the fucking edge.
But you know what? I feel like at this point they can't. It's just like, it is what it is. It's really a losing battle. It's no point.
Well, I don't argue with no boomers
it's a waste of time.
That are stuck in their mind and stuck in 1945.
It's a lost cause.
I don't argue with them. There are a very small percentage of boomers who are open to opening up and letting you know their trials and tribulations, and letting you know, you know, what not to do, and, you know, giving you wisdom. But there are some who are miserable. And there are some who are so traumatized and so just stuck in their own ways that they feel like, you know, like, what do we have to complain about?
Yeah.
Like, what do you need to know things? What do you need me to share this with you for? Like, all you need to do is get a job and, you know, get a roof over your head. That's all you need to do. Like, and that's all that matters. If you have that, if you had that as a child,
what else do you need?
You shouldn't be complaining about nothing else. That's where a lot of them are with it. And if they can feel like that towards us, you have to know that that is a projection of how they feel towards themselves. And that is the things they've been telling themselves to cope for however many years. Okay, so many of them, they're not even comfortable with reliving or revisiting their own traumas that they went through. They have been pushing it down and pushing it back to the back of their mind for so long, so hard, and trying to hold on tight to these crazy ass views. And
they probably will tell themselves it didn't even happen.
They literally will rewrite history to make it seem like they didn't go through what they went through, or that they didn't do things that they did to their children.
Or like, I'm perfect.
I've seen it with my own eyes, okay? They literally will do it. So, yes, it sucks that they are like that. But I honestly just feel like, and I don't really like to say things like this, but what I really do feel is that those types of views and those types of ways of being is just going to have to die with their generation. You know, that's how it's going to have to go out.
Because they've been operating in that way their whole lives. So
and like, a lot of it is unhealthy.
It's unhealthy,
and that's the type of shit, like not sharing things and not talking about what you went through, and you know, not having that open space for your children or your grandchildren or for the people up under you. That's how addictions are bred, you know. How people turn to alcoholism and drugs and, you know, all kind of shit. People in the street, gangs and shit. That's how you get shit like that, when you are so unwilling to open up and be vulnerable, or even at the least allow those around you or under you to open up and be vulnerable. You know, just not creating that space is the type. And I mean, you can create that space and shit could still go awry, but I'm saying the probability of that shit happening is so much higher when your child feels like they can't even talk to you.
Yeah.
And what if they have no one else to talk to?
Yeah.
What the fuck you think they're gonna turn to?
What if your kid's going through something that you went through when you were their age, or younger or older? Like, what is something that you could help them through? But yeah, you're so far from that because you're not even ready to accept what you went through. It's like.
Yeah. And as I've gotten older, I kind of approach these situations with a little more empathy than I used to when I was younger, because in my mind, like, yeah, I feel like you're a parent, you have to make things work. You have to figure it out for you and your kids, right?
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, it's like, I could look at my mother, for instance, and look at her and be like, my mother, like, literally, she's just a girl. Like, she's living life for the first time, too. She's working through all her own shit as well.
True.
You know, and that's right. And then I get in this mode where I look at the women around me who are older than me. Some who've done horrible things to me. Some who've been great to me. And I look at them and I think about the things that they've been through. And I'm like, you know, we were all just a little girl. You know? Like, I can see the little girl and all the women who are around me, all the women who are older than me, and know that there's a lot of trauma and pain that started in those early years, and there's so many parts of us are still that little girl, and I know that because I lived that too, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody's living that.
Yeah.
And so I feel more empathy than I used to, but then a part of me is also like, but as a parent, you still have a responsibility to figure these things out, because you chose to have a kid, right? Like there's things that you have to figure out, things that you have to work through, so that you can be better for your kids than your parent was for you.
Right.
You know? So it's like,
yeah, because I hear what you're saying, but at some point it's like, y'all gotta take accountability. Like, you okay, now you're aware that this has been deeply affecting you subconsciously, some trauma or whatever happened in your childhood. Okay, now what are we going to do about it? To not saying that it's easy, not saying that it's going to happen overnight, but, you know, actively try to work on it. I feel like they use that as a crutch, like, I'm going through things and I'm this and I'm that. Okay, I hear you, but you're not. What are we doing to work on that? You know what I mean?
Facts. And we can't be the only one with the empathy, bro. Like, we're the kids. Like, to y'all, we're the kids. So, we can't be the only ones, you know, extending grace and empathy and, you know, being aware of, your traumas, and you just blatantly ignore ours. Like,
that's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
It needs to be
you need to grow up.
Like, I see you, you see me type of thing. It's not, I see you and, well, yours is, you know, I kind of hear you,
right?
Or I don't know, I don't understand that. That don't make sense. You saying no? We're not doing that. A
lot of Gen X and Boomers and Boomer parents are stunted immensely emotionally, like far beyond what we could even fathom. Like, a lot of them are walking around here in 50-year-old bodies, 35-year-old bodies, 70-year-old bodies, and really, emotionally, they are stuck at fucking 10, 12, 13, 14, and 15.
Yeah.
Where somebody had them fucked up at. And they never got the help that they needed, because they didn't even know they needed the help. or or it was, you know, frowned upon to get that type of help.
And it's like the ignorance of like,
but it's like now it's not. You can get the help now.
But the ignorance that they have about mental health and like and getting therapy and having a psychiatrist, like, it's really sad.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell you need it and you're not doing it. Because what you're saying, oh, that's for crazy people, or that's for rich white people.
Oh, I don't need therapy.
I don't need that. Therapy. You need therapy. Are you crazy? Are you insane? Are you clinically? Are you insane? Why do you need therapy? Okay, so I gotta have fucking rippy socks on and a straight jacket to go to therapy.
And who says shit like that? Children say shit like that. That's how you know they are stuck mentally. They are really stuck mentally.
And it's sad.
And emotionally. I would say emotionally more than mentally. They are emotionally stuck at a very young age. And while their body and their mind
and life and time is
going on and they're growing, their emotions
stunted and stuck.
Are stuck way back. And it's sad, bro.
And you know, it depends on the kid, but they could fuck them up.
Yep. And then they fucking up their kids.
And you just passing shit on.
And now we up in this bitch and we gotta break all kind of cycles and shit.
Yeah. Like,
or
I gotta
starting new cycles and shit.
Who said I ain't asked to be the strongest soldier? Shit.
Listen, we don't ask for a lot of shit that we gotta deal with, but
okay,
it is what it is.
We here, we in this bitch
for a reason.